Hello fragrance friends, Tommy with Studio Sense here. I hope that you're doing fantastic today, and as the days are moving closer and closer to the holidays, if any of you guys have travel plans, I hope you reach your destination safely and that you spend a lot of quality time with family, because really that's what this time is all about. And we have quality time, you and I, to spend together right now. There is a magazine called Esquire, and I'm sure you've heard of it, know it. We are an Esquire household here. I've read the magazine for many years, a ton of great articles and fragrance recommendations. The excellent house Michael Malul has teamed up with Esquire. In collaboration with the editors, they've created a line of 4 men's fragrance that capture the bold and adventurous spirit of the Esquire reader. So when we come back, we're going to take a look at all 4 of these fragrances. I'm going to give you guys my first impressions, and we're going to do a giveaway of a discovery set of all 4 of them. Got that and more coming up, so stay tuned. Welcome back everyone to a really unique set of fragrances from the combined efforts of Michael Malul and the renowned men's magazine Esquire. I was really stoked to see this come out, and I think it actually came out somewhere back in July, or at least it was announced on Instagram back in July. I actually chose the fragrance editor-in-chief simply because this is a kind of a cold weather version of the fragrance, or one of the cold weather fragrances, or cooler weather, or autumnal fragrances, we'll say. There's 4 of them. There are 4 seasons. You could say they did that on purpose. 1 fragrance per season, and I'll go over which season that you can use each of these in, what would be appropriate, what it smells like, and just kind of give you the rundown on them. But we're not going to spend too much time on it because I do want to get to the giveaway. The giveaway is going to be for a very cool discovery set. You know how when you get those discovery sets where they have like a 3 ml sample of a fragrance and you wear it like twice and it's already empty? Well, the cool thing about these are 10 ml vials. All 4 of them are represented by this discovery set, and we're going to give this away in a contest. So stay tuned. Later in the video, I'm going to tell you guys the rules of the contest, and we're going to keep it really simple and make it easy for you to enter to win. But let's go ahead and jump into these fragrances. What are they and what do they smell like? I want to talk very briefly about the presentation, because how it looks is a kind of a big deal, because it's all part of the whole package, right? And they really put some thought into the look of the fragrances. This, of course, is editor-in-chief, but they all look very similar with some differences in color. So we're going to use editor-in-chief as an example to describe the bottles of all 4 of the collection. Now, the fragrance bottles are really good looking. They feature the iconic Esquire logo on the very front, and it's embossed. Got a really cool tactile feel. In fact, the bottles boast a cut crystal-like design on the sides, which is inspired by the architecture of the Hearst Tower in New York City, which happens to be where Esquire is located. That's their headquarters. And it gives the same tactile feel as a nice highball glass. The lid is made of a very heavy plastic, on the top of which is the E for Esquire and the logo in a circle. The atomizer is bronze and a combination of metal and plastic, and the lid does click into place actually very well. On the bottom of the bottle is an adhesive sticker with size, concentration, and house. How something is created goes a long way towards not only how it looks, but also the value of it. These are going to be high value bottles because kind of the combination of Hearst Tower headquarters and the highball whiskey glass tactile feel to the fragrance is going to go a long way in their popularity, because they look great, feel great, very heavy, and very well made. Okay, so now that we know what the fragrances look like, and of course the difference is the Esquire, of course, is embossed, but the lettering is in like a gold font so that it stands out. Below the name of the fragrance, you've got by Michael Malul, and that's going to be the same on all of them, with the difference in, of course, the name. Now that we know what they look like, what they put into the creation of the look and the presentation, what about the fragrance themselves, and what do they smell like? Well, the first one we're going to talk about, and I'm going to use the discovery set to kind of show you, since this is also what we're going to be giving away, show you what you're going to be getting. This is American Novelist. Now, what about the fragrance notes that are used to create American Novelist? Fearless explorer, wanderer, and free spirit who's always traveling, and this warm fragrance is inspired by those travels. In the top, you've got bergamot, juniper, and wild mint. In the heart, you've got clary sage, basil, and leather, resting on a base of cedarwood, moss, and pine. I will say that Honoring Blanc and Richard Hairpin are 2 of the 5 perfumers that were used to create these fragrances, and they're very well known. I'm not going to go into detail as to who it was that created each fragrance. We're just going to talk about how they smell, when they're best used for, when you would use them, so that you can decide which one you might like and maybe look forward to winning that discovery set. American Novelist is one of the most versatile in the set because it's very bright, very clean, but it also cants towards kind of the earthy, loamy side of things. The freshness of the bergamot, juniper, and wild mint are a fantastic trio. I love the open of this fragrance. It smells so welcoming and yet masculine at the same time. There's a little bit of density and some familiarity with the spiciness of the notes in the heart, where the combination of clary sage, basil, and leather come together. So you've got this spiciness plus this familiar warm textile leather that comes into the foreground as the fragrance starts drying down. And then that cedar wood, moss, and pine gives it kind of a woodsy, pine-scented familiarity that's super clean smelling. So bright, citrusy, super clean, slightly earthy, and woody is what American Novelist is. Again, American Novelist is one of the more versatile of the fragrances out of the four. You can pretty much wear it in any season. This is going to be a great transitional fragrance to wear during the fall. You can also wear it in spring, although it's going to be more of a fall-oriented fragrance. That is American Novelist. Next up, we have Editor-in-Chief, and I'm going to hold this bottle up since that was the one that I decided to get because this is cooler weather, and I wanted to try this out and run it through its paces in cooler weather. And guys, what a fantastic, smoky, rich, just to put any ideas of performance to rest, each of these have an endurance about them. Each of them has at least a 7 to 8 hours endurance. You know, Michael Malul, they're all about using really good quality fragrance oils, and they definitely have in this project. I'm going to lay that to rest. You don't have to worry about performance out of any of these fragrances. Editor-in-Chief, however, is one of the powerhouses out of the four, okay? Very long lasting, and again, be best used in cooler weather. Why? Let's talk about the notes. Of course, Editor-in-Chief, you know, a beacon of wisdom, the kind of the center of the centrifuge where everything comes together. Really, this whole project came from. They have attention to detail, a fondness for things of really high quality. Editor-in-Chief features top notes of clove, cinnamon, and apple, with heart notes of cashmere wood, orris, labdanum, patchouli, and vetiver, resting on a base of sandalwood, cedarwood, vanilla, birchwood, and tonka bean. This is a glorious, smoky, ambery, incense-heavy fall fragrance. It's going to make a perfect winter fragrance. This is going to be one of those that even as you layer up in clothing, no matter how many layers you have, how many scarves you like to wrap around your neck, people are still going to smell this. It's going to punch through those layers, especially if you put it on pulse points. Your fragrance smell is going to rise and create a fantastic weight. Clove, cinnamon, and apple almost brings to mind a slight gourmand, but it goes into the territory of masculine smoky instead. It is a fine, rich, high-quality fragrance that puts me in the mind a little bit of Tom Ford Noir Extreme. This smells just a bit like Tom Ford Noir Extreme. It goes in that kind of direction. It has a little bit of sweetness, just enough to be super inviting. The sweetness in the open dries down to a nominal degree. Out of all four of the fragrance, personally, this one is probably my favorite. Editor-in-Chief, a fantastic cold weather fragrance, and you can definitely make use of a 10 ml bottle of this fantastic fragrance. Because honestly, 1 or 2 sprays is going to be great for all day wear. And so imagine what you can do with 10 mil of it in a discovery set. All right, guys, moving on to Modern Poet. For all you poets out there, this might be a fragrance you would be interested in because it's from translating those thoughts in your head down to paper to where people can read them and relate to what you say. I like what they say about it. Like a daydream, this bright citrusy fragrance inspires fresh, vivid visions of lemon, gin, grapefruit, citron, and olibanum. Playful and charismatic, setting into herbal notes of matcha, cardamom, and geranium before warming into earthy notes of vetiver, moss, patchouli, sandalwood, balsam, and amber. Stimulate the senses with the poetry of a modern scent. This one puts me in the mind a little bit, and I'm going to grab it here, not only in color, but in smell. Okay, so Hugo Boss Oud Aromatic, a nice green, kind of matches it, doesn't it? While there's no oud in Modern Poet, it actually kind of reminds me a little bit of Oud Aromatic. This is actually a bit more wearable than Oud Aromatic is. I really like the direction this is going. It's more bright and fresh, and this would be their answer to the season of spring. This would be more of a kind of a springtime oriented fragrance. Although you can wear it in fall, you can wear it in cooler weather. It has more of a new beginnings, fresh ideas, light, herbal, medicinal, vegetal, kind of a trio of those aromas in the combination of notes. Of course, lemon, gin, citron, and matcha come together to form a bright, fresh, and really unique opening. What I love about these 4 fragrances is they don't smell like, or they're not trying to clone something. They're very unique in what they're doing. Fresh ideas that are put into print in the magazine Esquire, same kind of idea in these fragrances. New beginnings, fresh. So Modern Poet is not only an ode to writing your thoughts on paper, someone reading them and relating to them, but also kind of getting that same idea across aromatically. Great springtime wear, but really anytime. Great fresh signature scent. Next up, we have the fresh, vivid, citrusy, aquatic side of things in New Journalist. It's the type of person that wants to make everyone feel like they belong, that there's a reason that you're here. You know, they say there's 6 degrees of separation. Well, the connector is one who creates connections between those 6 degrees of separation and connects the hierarchy, as it were. Blue fragrances are very well known for being approachable, fresh, and relatable, the friendly kind of fragrance. And this is representative, the New Journalists are representative of that friendly guy that everyone feels like they can approach. Kind of the same idea behind the fragrance. Now let's talk about the notes that are in New Journalist. The top has lemon, something called Mandarin Splash, which is just a note of orange, and apple leaf. The heart has blue lavender, geranium mist, and lotus, and the base has vetiver, sandalwood, and amber. Again, this is your modern, fresh, aquatic blue, like the fresh crest of a wave. There is a reminiscence of Bleu de Chanel in the dry down of this, and it's really nice. But you have that fresh blue, kind of fruity, zesty opening that moves into that more vivid aquatic in the heart. And in the dry downs where you get a little bit of darker density, where the fragrance stays, and that's where it kind of is a lightly reminiscent of kind of a combination of Bleu de Chanel and the lighter side of Missoni Wave. It's more of a simplified aquatic fragrance, a little bit less of the woody and a little bit more of the aquatic. So it's not like an Aqua de Jo, but it's more of a lighter, fresh, citrusy fragrance that is fantastic for the summer climes, right? So this would be representative of the season of summer and spring into summer. Like with any aquatic though, you can wear it year round if you want to. I'm just giving you an idea of where it fits mostly, and then you can make up your mind how you want to wear it. But each of these fragrances have been finely tuned and crafted to be a signature scent. That means they're created to carry themselves and carry the idea behind them. It helps you be uniquely you. And as someone smells the fragrance on you, as you wear it over time, they begin to think of you whenever they smell the fragrance. That's what they're designed to do. This is the Discovery Set. As you can see on the back, the Discovery Set, it gives you a listing of all the notes plus the names of the fragrance, which is a really nice bit of information to have on the outside of the box. The box themselves are fantastic looking. I love the color combination. Green is my jam anyway, any shade of green. The box is a matte finish. The words themselves are a shiny, darker bit of that green. And then, of course, you've got the gold Esquire and then the Discovery Set in the name. Same for the actual boxes of the fragrance. They look very similar, just a version of that. So fantastic presentation. The fragrances themselves, I was quite surprised at not the quality, because I know Michael Malul enough to know that they're all about the quality, but just how well put together they are and how good they smell and how really unique they are. So you can go to Michael Malul's website and purchase each bottle, 3.3 fluid ounces or 100 ml bottle, for $120. Now, if you are a first time on your first order, you can get 20% off of that. That means if you get all 4 bottles, which would be $480, you can take basically $100, $96 to be specific. You can save $96 on all 4 bottles. You will be impressed by the high quality of these fragrances. You can also get the Discovery Set for $49. If you click on that little button at the bottom right that says save 20%, you can save 20% off of the $49 as well if you just want to get the discovery set. So that's the price of the fragrance. That's how you can get it, or you can get the discovery set, but you can also win the discovery set. I'm going to turn your attention to win the discovery set. Here are the very simple rules. All you got to do, and by the way, guys, the discovery set's actually coming from Michael Malul. I'm going to give them your information, whoever wins, and they're going to send it directly from their inventory to your home or to wherever you want it shipped to, just not a P.O. box. Can't ship to a P.O. box, right? To win the discovery set, you simply have to go to Instagram. You've got to follow Michael Malul of London on their Instagram. You've got to like this video and tag a friend on Instagram. You must follow their Instagram. You must like this YouTube video. But the most important thing is to follow Michael Malul of London on your Instagram. Tag a friend, make sure to like, and even comment. Guys, we've gone over a lot of information, all 4 of these fragrances, and I gotta tell you, I am super impressed with them, and I think you will be too. So definitely enter to win the contest, and in about a week or so, we're gonna pull the winner and give you that information. Well, that's a wrap on today's video, guys. A pairing of 2 wonderful entities, Michael Malul and Esquire magazine. You gotta take a look at these, do yourself a solid, because they definitely are very versatile in terms of their use too. That kind of surprised me a little bit. High quality fragrances with a fantastic idea behind them. I can definitely get behind that as well. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. As always, thank you so much for your continued support on my channel. You and your family stay safe out there. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.